welcome to Hot Topics, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're not on the screen right now. We're giving homage to this young man right here. He goes by the name of DMX. I'm sure everyone by now has heard about what has happened with DMX and the overdose that happened on Friday. Um, this right here is going to be a deep story, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're a little sensitive, you just prep yourself because we're going to go in deep and talk about the life, the history, the endeavors that DMX had to go through with me and Auntie this evening. So once again, if you if you can't take hearing a little bit of sad talk, especially with it being Easter, and we hope with it being Easter and everyone's talking about the DMX story, maybe um, through the prayers and the grace of God, it will begin to see DMX doing much better than his current state of what he's going through. Auntie,
Hey, how you doing? Happy Easter, everybody.
I love you.
Love you more, dear.
DMX has, it's saying he has at least 19 kids. And I just wonder, how many of his 19 children were able to, talk to him prior to the event that happened Friday.
Wonder if they're in his lives. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. He's been fighting this for a long time.
Hmm.
For a long time. I love his voice and his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his voice and his music. That love that. Love that.
It was only one X, ladies and gentlemen. It was only one X. I mean,
Well, he's still here. He hasn't gone nowhere. He's still here.
there's only one. Um, bear with me. I'm trying to. I had someone new wants to start checking out the podcast, and I'm trying to direct them to it, how to come to it. So I'm doing that now.
We just have to keep him and his family lifted up in prayer, just to
Hmm.
ask the Lord to send his angels, his fence, just to be a fenced around him.
Phone line is open if anyone wants to call in and talk about the DMX situation. The number is 704-530-4920. One thing before we get started, Auntie, I want to tell everyone about these new glasses. People, they're not
Ooh.
shot glasses. They were, I guess you would call it little, cocktail glasses? Or what would you call
Oh,
it?
on the rocks, on the rocks.
I have it
Oh,
on the rocks, but it's water, not anything alcoholic. It's water. Y'all hear that? Mm-hmm.
that's
Water.
nice.
Water. Liquid water. Mm. So, if you would like to get your own Urban Voice Media on the rocks glasses, I guess I can
Turn
get
it
it.
on.
There we go. There we
Yes,
go. There we go. There we go. There it is.
that'd be nice to have a set. Yeah,
I love these. I love these glasses. This is the only glass I've been drinking out of for the last 4 or 5 days now. Mm.
nice,
Mhm.
nice.
Auntie, as you see it going across the screen, it's talking about, Friday just passed. DMX suffered a heart attack, and they said that um, DMX born Earl Simmons was deprived of oxygen for 30 minutes while the paramedics tried to resuscitate him. And the doctor said the oxygen deprivation severely impacted his brain. And right now they're saying that, it's not looking good. Some sources say that he had a little bit of brain activity, and some sources saying that he hasn't had any. So really, we just have to sit back and wait. But as it said on the screen, let's all share our strength and prayers for him to recover. Um, DMX been going through this for a while, Auntie, for a
Yeah,
long while.
for a few years.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And you say a few years, Auntie, and to some people, a few means two or three. To you and
Oh no,
I, we truly know, you and I, we know what a few really means.
like 25, 30, maybe more than that. Because
Because
he's what,
he's 50. He's 50 now.
50? So what, almost 35, 40, 40 years, between
Mhm.
35, 40 years he's been going through this. Yeah.
Mhm. So, I mean, that's a long time to put that in your body.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, we're going to, let's see which one I want to do. We're going to, we're going to give the people a little something, and then we'll come back, Auntie, after we see this first clip. And then we're going to give something that DMX gave the world. Here's the first clip here.
You can look at the pictures and see where he, through the period of the time and the years where you see where he was doing good because he was kind of thick. And then you could see where he had gone down to like nothing. The weight dropped. So,
Hmm.
so that you know that he was using heavily. Yeah. And the his face and everything. Yeah, you can see all that. Yeah.
Once again, the phone lines are open 704 530 4920 if you'd like to call in and talk in reference to the DMX situation that he's battling at this moment. The chat lines are open as well if you'd like to leave some comment in reference to DMX, maybe something inspiring for him and his family. Once again, he has a rather large siblings, kids. He has 19 children, and I'm sure that his his family would love to hear everyone give the support and the love to just help uplift them at the moment. Because dealing with any family member in a hospital at any point in time under any condition is not something to rejoice, be smiling over. You know, especially
Right.
with what DMX went through. One thing I really love about DMX, Auntie, is he always praised God.
Mm-hmm.
His messages always had something inspiring to make you say, you know what, X just said that. My day ain't that bad. He just gave me something like, dude, knock it off your shoulder and let's get with it. Let's keep on moving. And I mean, that was just the type of guy he was. He was one of those kind of guys you're not gonna mess with him. You're not gonna talk dirt down on him, but at the same time, he's gonna come to you on a God tip.
Right, because he knows by the grace of God he's still here.
Mm-hmm,
So he's still giving praise and thanks. We have to remember that he's still a man, still human,
mm-hmm,
not
mm-hmm,
perfect.
mm-hmm,
Uh, trying to get it right. You
mm-hmm,
know, it's a struggle for some and harder for some.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know what? It takes you back and makes you wonder, in reference to his life, what type of life, excuse me, y'all, what type of life that he lived as a child. What was he surrounded by up in New York as a child? And, who was his mentors? Who was the people that he looked up to? And there's one video clip where he talked about that. And we'll share that
Right.
with everyone a little later on. But it makes a difference, Auntie, as to what our children is being exposed to.
Oh, it makes a big difference. That's the, that's why, people think because kids are infants that they are not paying attention. They're soaking up everything that you're saying, all the feelings that you're giving, all the encouragement that you're giving and not giving, letting them know that you're proud of them, that they're beautiful, that they're kings and prince and princesses, that they can be and do anything in the world. We have to instill that in kids as young babies and never stop doing it. I do this till today to all of my nieces and nephews.
Hmm.
Of how proud that I am, and I'm always there to support and to do whatever I can. I don't care how old they get. I'm always going to be there to support them and let them know how proud I am of them. And people need that, especially kids.
There's an event, Auntie, coming up April the 17th. It's called Unity in the Community. In reference to that's on the screen, in reference to kind of like something what you just stated. You always giving support, you always uplifting, you're always doing something to let them know, hey, Auntie's still here. No, I'm still here to carry on the legacy of grandma, great grandma, grandpa.
Mhm,
I'm, now I'm carrying the torch for all the babies, and that's one thing
mhm,
grandma always called us was her babies. And I
mhm,
wonder, did DMX have that grandma to call him her baby?
mhm,
It makes a difference. There's
mhm,
so many children who grow up to be adults who never been told by their parents, I love you.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and as I stated earlier, you know, it affects a kid. Um, I had a friend to tell me that her mom never told her that she was pretty and that she could do great things. And even though she's an adult now, has a kid of her own, she still goes to talk to a psychiatrist. She goes to talk, she's a therapist, but she said she will instill and make sure that she tells her daughter on a daily basis that she's a beautiful smart girl. She said because she wants to stop that cycle, because that cycle had gone 2 generations. um, Her grandmother was like that with her mom, and her mom was like that with her. But she made a decision when she had a kid, a daughter. I'm not going to let this continue to be so. And I'm so proud that she did, and that she even tried to get her mom and her grandmother to go to the therapist, and they think that they're fine, but no, you're not. But I'm so proud of her, that she saw the need because she had a kid and she wanted to stop that cycle. She wanted to stop because you have to let the kids know. You know, you may not think just because their kids is not affecting them, but it does. Acting, in school, being closed off from people, they could just explode at one time and moment and go out. That's how you have these grown people killing each other, coming out just mass killing because they've had so much stuff bogged up inside of them, and they feel that they're ugly and no one loves them. So it's important to tell folks. It's important, especially with the
Salute,
kids.
salute to you, Michelle Byers. Thank you for the comment that you left in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any comments that you want to leave to this topic, feel free to leave your comments. We'll make sure to place them on the screen as they come. I can't read the comment. I need to get this off my chest, Auntie, so that I can move on.
Damn.
We were supposed to win on air at 8 o'clock, and I was running a little bit late because I was with a couple, and I've been knowing this couple for at least 6, 7 years, and nowhere in knowing this couple and seeing the accolades of things that they've done and to see the life they have now would I've ever fathomed the things that they told me this evening. And Auntie, That's the reason I have tears right now.
It's okay, dear. You have feelings. That's why you have tears because you care. That's fine. That's only natural.
When they
That's it.
told me what their mother and father did to them, I couldn't imagine how a mother and a father can make their children, number one, ladies and gentlemen, keep them from going to school. They were unable to go to school, never went to school. Number two, not let them eat for weeks at a time, and able to keep them from going to school. And no one finds out about this. Then have them moving from state to state, county to county, hitchhiking. Grown woman, grown man, and four kids. Three or four kids. I can't remember how many kids it is, but it's three or four kids. And then you lie to the county, the state that you're in, telling them that your car broke down, but you're really homeless with these kids. You get assistance, and you still don't do right by your children. Selling the food stamps for whatever. One of the highlights, one of the spouses told me this evening was the highlight for the other person was to finally go to Walmart to shop for themselves. That's a highlight. That's an enjoyment. Once they got of age. Now, at 15, they ran away from home, leaving the other siblings back home, the brothers and sisters back home, to go start a life. They don't know how to read or write. What kind of parents does this?
I have a
Make,
question.
hmm
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish. I
Make
want
you
to.
wonder what type of parents did DMX have?
Well, not parents, are just uh, adults around him. Just caring people, grandparents or aunts and uncles. My thing is the questions I want to ask you about this the young lady. How you said that they were, and I think I talked to you about this last week when we were talking about a story. You never know what goes on in people's homes, not even your neighbors' homes. They could have people in cages. They could have, and it's so weird. We talked about this last week. You never know, and that's why it's always. I don't want to see. No, you know what? I would just say it. Be a nosy neighbor, and a nosy neighbor.
Hmm.
Pay attention
Hmm.
because anything could be happening next door. They could be having kids there, prostitute. I mean, any because I don't. This country has just turned into just unbelievable, and it makes it's sad that people do that, but just incredible that you do it to your own kids. Now I have a question for you, because normally women, they don't, because they birth these kids and they feel their first heartbeat and things. Was it to keep a man, or because a man, or man, did she get into deep into about, was it the father? Was he her biological father, or was it someone who came in who the mother was with?
Well, no, I think it was their. I didn't ask either sibling, whether it was their mother or their. I mean, whether it was their biological father, there and their biological mother. I didn't ask them that because at that point in time, they kind of solidified to me that they hated both of them, whether
Okay,
it
well,
was biological or not biological. And when the parents died, they died. They died alone, and they wanted no part of anything. But what really grabbed me is they showed me the newspaper clipping of the story that this state had wrote up in reference to them and their siblings and their mother and father. And Auntie, they still walk around with that. Even though the parents are gone,
they'll
they're
never get
still,
over that.
they're still walking around with that horror of a life. Because they showed it to me in their phone, the clipping. So they're still hurting in some capacity.
Yeah, that's and I know it's
And
easy
that's why
said
it
than
tore me
done.
up, Auntie. It made me furious. It made me mad. Because first I couldn't understand how they was like, the hell with my mother, the hell with my father. Because you know what kind of dad I had.
Right,
My dad was woo. That dude, man, man, he was my man. He was my
right.
dude. And to not have a dude like I did, I couldn't understand until they broke down and told me why. And that made, it cringed me. I hate to get away from DMX story, but ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand there's something called love, and we got to stop this bullshit and treating people bad. We got to stop it.
Yeah, yeah,
Excuse my English. It ain't French, it's English. I say bullshit. If you
yeah.
see a mother and a father treating some children bad, report they ass.
And that was my next thing I was going to say. Make a comment on. You said that they were getting support from the system. Well, the system was paying them for their kids. The system saw that their kids weren't going to school. That's when the system is failing these kids. That's it's a lot of wrong on all
And,
sides, not just the parents,
and the
the
time
system
period,
as well.
and the strong time period of this was back in the 70s era. So back then they really weren't up and up the way they are now with keeping up with things. This was back in the 70s.
But you were sending them money. No, back then they had people to come out to your homes
Hmm.
and to look at your homes. They had to have an address somewhere for them to be getting money and stuff. So all of that stuff was in the system. And like I said, they had people. If you weren't in school, they had the curfew. They had the truancy officers to come. So and you said
And
they were
you know
they
what, Auntie, Auntie, and also you got to think about it. In some of the poorer states, they may
yeah
not be up on it than it is in the states like Maryland, DC. In
right.
the more up north. Because that
You
in
said
that time period, I mean, there was a lot that down south they didn't have that up north had.
you said they moved, that's probably that was one of the reasons too why you said they moved all the time because they were the folks were getting too close and
Hmm.
finding out and asking questions and or neighbors or somebody telling. But be nosy. I pay attention to everything that's going on in my neighborhood, and especially when there's kids, and because kids are innocent. Kids are always happy.
And
They're told
Auntie,
what they need.
for this couple, for the one spouse to take in the other spouse, pain, the trauma that they had to take in,
Hmm.
that was very powerful for them to step in and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna show you a different world." And
Right,
for that person who couldn't read, who couldn't write, who could still make it over, because there's so many children who can't make it over, who end up doing drugs, having
right,
15, 16, 19 kids like DMX, you
right.
know, just doing drugs, drinking themselves to death. They didn't go down that road.
For that person to open up and accept help,
Hmm.
yeah, and wanted to do better and have better. Now,
And
was
mind you,
she
Auntie,
able?
didn't mean to cut you off. Mind you, this person looking at them, you wouldn't, the things that I'm saying right now, you would never see it. You would think they're the most educated, the most brilliant, that went to college, and had the best of the best coming up, and they lived the worst of the worst.
Hmm. Was she able to, once she moved out at 15, to go back and try to help her younger brothers and sisters? Or he or she, whoever the person was? I don't know who
Yes,
was a
yes, they did.
female.
They did take care of their younger siblings. They lived with them. They practically was mom and dad for them.
And what happened to the parents?
They
Did
eventually
did,
died. They died lonely. I'm
did
not
they
sure about the father,
did
but I
they
know the mother died lonely.
so they were still together till the
I'm not
end?
for sure.
Not for
I'm
sure.
not for sure. Yeah, I didn't want to probe too much because it
Right,
was just, it was just too deep. I was letting them say what they wanted to say.
right. Did they
At
ever
that
get
point in time,
parents?
I was draining.
You would probably did the parents ever get in trouble for what? Because you said it was a news article. Did they? You don't know?
Um, I couldn't read the whole entire. I just read the little snippets. It was a long, big article. And
Right.
once again, we sitting covering it. It wasn't like, I was really, really trying to investigate and
Right.
work on it and
Right.
everything. As I talk to them more and more, I get more information out of them. But
And
just for
that
that
was
short time period I was there, I was really just listening.
and that's what you were there for, and that was great because they needed to talk. Or yeah,
The funny thing, and it's not funny, they they've healed a lot. Both of them have,
oh
because
yeah, I'd be talking to you about it. If they weren't, they wouldn't have been able to do that.
the reason why I say that is because once again, it tore me up, and I was crying. They came over and hugged me. They comforted me versus me comforting them. And they was saying, "LB, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you." And I'm like, "You don't understand. I don't care who you are. I see you in abusing a child. You can be 6'6", 240. I'm gonna try to find something to go to your ass. I,
I
I
take
can't
you
handle
to
it.
them.
I can't handle that. I can't handle that. My mother and father didn't abuse me. My mother and father showed me how a mother and father is supposed to raise children. I'd be
Right.
dagged if I can sit back and keep my mouth closed and watch you disrupt a young man or a young lady. I can't do it.
Just because they're little and can't fight.
Mhm.
Innocent babies. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna jump back into DMX. Um, I think DMX is giving this to everybody, and this he may be giving this right here to that couple that I visited with today. Check this out right here.
Father God, I am just learning how to pray. Bear with me. First, I thank you for the life of everyone that's here with me. Then I thank you for the love you give me. Why? I don't know. I don't deserve it, and it hurts inside. Many a nights I cried and called your name out loud, but didn't call you when I was doing good, too proud. And still you gave me love. I wasn't used to that. Most of the people that gave me love ended up taking it back. That's something new to me. So I'm asking you for time to adjust. Let me make it there. I will be one you can trust. What I stand for, I put my life on. I do. I guess what I'm asking is, show me how to stand for you. And I will rap for you, sing for you, reach for you, preach for you, teach for you. I will love you like you love me, unconditionally. And I will always be prepared for whatever the mission will be. Give the nutrition to me, and I'll properly digest it. And when I give it back, I will show you word well invested. And whenever I go, before I go, let me give. Thanks to you, Lord, for my birth, for every day that I've lived. You gave me a love most of my life I didn't know was there. I give you my life because you cared. Amen.
Amen. Amen. You write your own prayers. You're very prolific. You're very prolific.
Wow. He said that was his first time praying.
That was deep.
Did a good job. Yeah.
Mhm. And that's why I say, Auntie, DMX, he helped out so many people, man, just through his music. Listening to some of the inspirational songs that he made. Um, um, I think it was maybe 5 years ago. He made a song in. He was actually reaching out and asking out to God, something about God help me now, something like that. I can't remember what the name of that song was, but it was deep. It was real deep. It wasn't a club track to where people going to play it in clubs quite naturally because he was
Right.
really just talking to God. But it was a real great, strong song. But
That's the first time I saw that. And I saw there were a lot of top movie stars there,
yeah,
sitting in the audience and sitting around there.
had the skinny Cheryl Underwood in there.
Yeah, and Vanessa Hill. Uh, don't know her last name, but I know the first name is Vanessa. Wow, wow, wow.
In the producers that he worked up under, I'm sure they, um, what's my man's name? He married Alicia Keys.
Um, Biz somebody. Is it
Mm,
Biz somebody?
Mm-mm. Gosh, I can't call his name. Why come I can't call your name, dude?
Isn't Biz?
Mm-mm.
That was Biz.
Let's try Google right quick. Swiss Beats.
Swiss Beats. Okay. What do I know about all that
But
stuff?
you did say Biz, right?
Yeah.
No, you close. You close. Hey, you close. Yeah, I tell people that all the time. You know, if I'm in the bees, bees, hey, it's same
It's
thing.
close.
You know where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what
you
I'm trying
did.
to say.
Oh, and look at here. The Peanut Gallery. The Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery. They late dollar short.
Yeah. They heard me say Swiss Beats, and then here they come.
Uh-huh. They late dollar short.
Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Auntie, for those who do not know what the Peanut Gallery is, can you please explain it to them once again?
Somebody always like we just got coming in late saying something when ain't nobody talking to them. Don't have nothing to do with them, but they got to put their 2 cents in it. Nobody talking to you. Stay in the back seat. Peanut Gallery. And then most of the time they all wrong.
Auntie, I see your hair looks fabulous. Who is the creator of that lovely creation?
My beautiful niece, Britt. She did it
All
for
right.
me yesterday. And I can tell you, my head is a little sore. I'm like, oh, this is the first time. You know, I usually wait a couple of days after I wash it, and she'll do it like this first or second day because whenever I wash my hair, for some reason, my sister would always tell me, "You're so weird." My scalp is sore like the day that I wash it. So I usually wait like 2 or 3 days, but I only waited a couple of hours, and she done it, and I'm like, because I'm used to getting braids, used to my head hurting and stuff, but you know, I'm a trooper. I'm like, ew, this is hurting me a little bit. You know, took Tylenol last night, this morning, and I was like, I'd be darned if I'm gonna be going home sleeping with my head hanging off the bed. Didn't do it in the past, and too old to be doing it now. So it was kind of a rough night sleeping last night. We'll see how tonight's gonna be because I have to get up early in the morning and be at work. But I'm just
Can you
isn't
believe?
it beautiful?
Can you believe what the Peanut Gallery is saying right there?
Ain't nobody paying no attention to her.
You think she's trying to pull one over on somebody?
Yep. She know where I stand with her. I told her what we gonna do. We gonna do when we see her. She better be trying to make a clone or something of herself.
Is she trying to be a practical joker?
Yeah.
What did she do to you?
You know, we're always exchanging recipes or sending stuff back and forth to each other. And I opened up something the other day. She sent me. It was a Saturday. I'm sitting there, and it was something about a face mask. So I'm like, oh, this is something new some new information she's sending me. Hit it, watching it, and a darn spider popped up on the screen. I dropped my phone. I don't like no kind of bugs, but a ladybug.
You didn't drop the phone, did you, Auntie?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
And then I showed it to my girlfriend because I was over at her house, and I thought she saw me drop the phone because she looked over at me, and she saw it, and she started running, screaming. And I was like, that's okay. When we see her, I don't want to say what we're going to do to her because I don't want people on the air to think like, oh, Lord, y'all some rough people from D.C. area. Yeah, we are. So
don't play.
No,
I think the next video we're gonna show, it kind of like solidifies DMX and his struggle. He knew he had a rough struggle, and he didn't deny it because the first clip talked about how he went through rehab back in 2019. So he's been in and out of he's been trying to get help. He's been trying to break himself from those demons. And this next clip kind of like opens up as to how those demons actually, and when those demons started interacting with him, and at what age.
I just come home from being in these institutions from the age of 7 to 14. I mean, and This guy, Reddy Ron. I mean, he was like an older brother to me, and I looked up to him like an older brother. You know what I'm saying? I love this guy like an older brother. You know, I don't have any brothers, but this guy, man, this guy, he introduced me to what would be the best part of my life, which would be the rap. But he also, at the end of my life, is blessed with the curse. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I didn't smoke weed. I didn't do anything. I'm 14 years old. So he came back with a blunt rolled up. He likes the blunt. Like I said, I was impressed. I don't really smoke, nigga. And he passed the blunt around. And, wow. And I hit the blunt, and I'm like, I never felt like this. Like it just me up. I'm like, the f. And I later found out that he laced the blunt with crack. My thing. Why would you do that to a child?
Correct.
And this nigga like 30, you know what I'm saying? And he knew how I looked up to him. Why would you do that to somebody who looks up to you like this? I mean, the monster was born. The monster was born. I mean, and that's I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Now you're supposed to be his mentor. You're you're his elder. You're supposed to be responsible. A grown man, and you're giving. Forget about giving a kid. Forget about it being laced with anything. But you're giving kids drug to use. You don't even give kids no at that age of 14 no cigarettes or beer, nothing to drink. But then you go further than that. You lace it with crack. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm. At age 14.
Yeah.
And he said it. You see how it was turning him up then. And he said, why would you do that? Why
Yeah.
would you do that? Why would you do that to a child?
So he got that. He thinking, okay, probably didn't even know what crack was, but I like the way that I felt. So he probably just, that was like he said, the monster was created.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's bad. That's
From the one guy that he looked up to, and he said this guy was in his 30s. He was
yeah.
14. So that right there goes back to the mother, the grandmother, the grandpa,
Yeah.
the dad, the uncles. Where were they?
That's what I was about to say. Where was his parents? Because from what I've seen and documentaries and seeing people, you just don't come off that high real quick. So he had to go home. You weren't paying attention to your kid to know that they're acting different, something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know all that and see that when your kid's acting different. So where was Nana and Grandma? To see.
And you 100% right on that, Miss Byers. And I applaud you for saying that what you just stated, because for those guys that may watch this, or if they have friends that watch it and go back and tell them about this podcast, you're not cute by selling crack cocaine. You're not
No.
cute by selling any kind of drug. Especially, you're not cute when you selling it to a child.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's marijuana. You don't sell no child no marijuana.
No.
You don't sell a child nothing
Mm-mm.
that can possibly harm them. And
Not
we
even sell, give it to them.
you shouldn't be really selling children nothing without their parents there, because you don't know where they got that money from. Number one.
Thank you.
That's rule. That's number one rule I learned when I got into retailing and sale. Don't sell things to children under age unless you know their parent is right there, co-signed for them to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely, you, you ain't you can't be impressing yourself by selling a child or giving a child. You know what, Auntie? I'm gonna stop right there. I've seen videos where people were giving children blunts to smoke, and beer and shots and liquor stuff, and these kids are like maybe 2, 3 years old.
Yeah. Oh, it's nothing new. No. I can remember the actress Drew Barrymore, Rich Barrymore family.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum O'Neal, her dad, Ryan O'Neal. I can remember watching documents and them talking about how they would drink. And even Robert, what's the guy who's the superhero thing there? Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He did drugs and drank, all of them with their parents. And they all were. Remember Robert Downey Jr., he was on the street, doing all kinds of stuff to get crack. And this was after he was a movie star. I mean, like made it big. It took him years, and thank goodness he got himself together. And the same with Drew Barrymore. She was a little girl from E.T. She was an alcoholic, but their parents did all of this stuff. You don't do that because the kids think it's okay. No.
I tell you what, though, Auntie. I don't know why they dragging their feet on this one, but we need another Sherlock Holmes movie. Robert, he did his thing in it. He did his thing in Sherlock Holmes.
I will watch his movies, those Sherlock Holmes movies, over and over and over again. OMG. My goodness. I love
the first time I seen that, I was like, what? I had to stop what I was doing.
I love all of them. I know everything about Bay Street. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, man. I mean,
crazy.
I like the way they created. I like the little tricks and the things they threw in and everything. The little,
you have to pay attention.
Yeah. We need another one, Hollywood. We need a part 3. A 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it going. Don't stop.
I can remember growing up as a kid. You're talking about, parents doing things. I was maybe 2nd, 3rd grade. And you have to remember, L.B., I was the youngest of 8. I have nieces and nephews that are older than I am.
What?
I have oh, don't act like you don't know.
What were Papa and Mama doing?
But they better be glad they did what they did to get me. But I can remember 2 older nieces. They were just wild, crazy girls, and they had stole a cigar and was smoking it out in the shed. No, not the shed. When we parked the car. It was a shed that we had converted into a garage. Well, it was a garage. So I come out because I'm always looking like, what are y'all doing? Smoking. It was a huge cigar. And I'm like, I want to smoke too, knowing that if we got caught, we were going to be crucified by Odessa. So she caught us because you see the smoke coming from. She stood there and made us smoke that whole. Oh, you want to smoke? Oh, you going to smoke that whole cigar? You talking about sick? Throwing out. That's all they had to take. I was done. And then on top of it, she made us smoke it. We got our ass beat. I mean, just bad. And she looked at me. You're their aunt. You're supposed to. And I'm like, Lord, but never.
Hey, Auntie, do your nieces call you old tattletale now?
No, because they never knew I told. They never knew.
Okay.
I told them on everything, but they never knew. No, they never knew I told.
They was getting that butt cut and didn't know why, huh?
And I'm looking at them. Look, I slept with my eyes open. So they thinking I'm asleep. I'm recording everything they were doing, where they hid the cigarettes, everything. And as soon as Mom would get home, I would give her all the news. And they're like, how does she know? They never knew I told. Look, they would even come to my face and be in my face. Oh, I was good. Didn't blink or nothing. Nope, they never knew. I told everything.
Boy, if the walls would tell, huh?
I was the sweet baby. Which I was. I was a good girl. I didn't get into any trouble. That was with the cigar. I was done. No, that was it. No,
Well,
I didn't get into trouble.
last week we had we covered a couple stories last week, but for some reason, the internet wouldn't let the stories be aired for whatever reason. They still never explained to us why and what pieces of the episode they didn't agree with. But we did cover this story here. It says all these guys got life of murders. They'll never go home. Life will go on without them. Family members will die while their kids will grow into adults, and they will not get to experience none of those moments with their children, with their family. Some have friends that will only stick around for a certain amount of time. They will get up to those same walls, same sweat, same people, meals every day of the rest of their lives. I'm posting this picture to say to young brothers that's knee deep in the streets, get out today. Tomorrow may be too late. Think about that for a moment. And then think about what DMX stated. What happened to him at 14.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that 14-year-old kid right now that's selling crack, that's selling meth, that's selling heroin.
And I can tell you, because I'm here in the DMV area, things are so, and I'm sure it's all over the country. Things are so much different now from when he was 14. You may not make it to jail; they'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
80% of the time, they're killing you because they have guns
Mm-hmm.
at 14 and 13 and even younger. They're killing you. So it's not, and the people who you think that, you think these people are your friends, they're not your friends. Because if they were your friends, they would be telling you, man, don't get off the, don't get into this. This is not the life for you for you to be. And usually these people are very smart. You have to be smart to know how to, count your money and all of that stuff. They're very intelligent. Very smart. And I just don't want to say guys because there's some chicks that are out there doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's usually the people who are close to you are the people who are doing the harm, and it's going to hurt you and kill you on the street because you're making more money and more dough than they are, or you're climbing up higher in the ladder than they are, or you're in their territory. You could be friends from young kids growing up. So yeah, it's just it's scary. It's scary. I had somebody to come in and get a release the other day into the station. Person smelled like they was just walked out of a marijuana factory. I'm like, are you crazy? And they looked at me. I said, you smell like pot. Oh, it was the car. Yeah, you in the car smoking. And then you're gonna come right in here. I'm like, come on now. Like, gee. It makes you want to get them and like just shake the snot out of them. Like, wake up.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
man.
I thought that there was another story that we wanted to do in reference to the 5-year-old up in up your way, really.
And actually, Silver Springs, how the police were treating a 5-year-old kid.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I thought we had the clips actually into the system. I didn't. I think what it was, we had shared the screen. So what I'm doing as you talking right now, what I'm trying to do is find that clip.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was kind of deep. Angie, if you will, you can kind of like go ahead and brief them on it while I find this clip.
It was here. It happened last year, and we just got it this year, March. But it happened last year, and it happened in the school in Montgomery County. And I just found out one of my great nephews attended that same school
Mm.
and was there when it happened. I'm like, oh, shiggity. What the shiggity? What it was, the little boy had a meltdown. Something happened. And they said that he destroyed a computer and messed up a room. And he left the school. I can't remember where he went to someone's home. I can't remember whose home he went to. But the police was called and the police went and got him. But the way they treated him and talked and screamed to him, it was unbelievable. A 5-year-old kid. And at no time did one of the officers ask him, did somebody hurt you? Did somebody do something to you? Tell me what's wrong. Not one, but they're busy yelling on how I would beat you if you were my child. You're not grown. You sit down. I mean, one point the female black officer got in his face and was screaming and yelling at him. Now the whole time while they're in this room at the school, I don't know if this was a principal, a teacher, stood there and didn't say a word to the police officers. But the child could have had behavior matters. Something could have been going on at home that they've come to school acting like this. You never know. And
Whoever that lady was, she asked the cops, well, maybe he need a nap.
a nap.
And then the male officer said he doesn't need a nap. What he needs is a spanking.
Mm. And then the female cop talking about putting him in a cage.
Yeah. She said you want to act like a beast? Beast go in cage. And I'm like, nowhere, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you the clip, but nowhere did this child act erratic. Nowhere did this child act deranged, just out of his norm. He was crying only.
He was crying.
Now, what he did prior to that, no, we didn't get to see. But if he was just disruptive, why he wasn't disruptive with the officers? I mean, a person is a person.
And like I said, the officers never once asked, did somebody hurt you? Tell me what's wrong. They never asked the baby that. Never. But they started out screaming and hollering. Now, when you do that to a kid, the kid is afraid. They're not supposed. We're raised where we were raised not to be afraid of police officers. That they're there to help us. But the way that they were carrying on, this kid was terrified of them, and I would have been too.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to the female officer. She really pissed me the hell off. Because it was like she was one of those black people, when they get in front of white people, they want to shine. They want to say, you know what, this is the way we should act, and this is the way we should do. No, people. No, we don't act like this. We don't need to change who we are and what we are, no matter who's in front of us. But this black sister, she did. She and you could tell the white lady, she was like, she was amazed.
Yeah.
She was stunned at the black guy and the black officer. The black officer and the black male officer, the black female officer were both acting like they had something against black kids. I'm just gonna say it for what it is. They really did.
They shouldn't have a job. Neither one of them should be working.
She even went so far and said, I'm gonna ask your mother if it's okay if I beat you.
And then the male pick him up and put him down in a chair. And the way he picked him up
and forced him down in the chair.
It would have been over.
Mhm. And
But
then the little boy, he did try to knock the hand because they said, we got your mother on the phone. So he tried to shoot the phone away from the lady. I don't know if she was a principal or what,
you
counselor
don't
or
know
what,
who she was, right?
but he tried to knock the phone away from him.
And that they really went off when he tried to do that.
Yeah. And think about it. The black female officer, y'all pay attention to this part too when we show the clip. She got in that little boy's face this close.
Howling.
It was
Yeah.
screaming in him, mocking him, mocking him. Who does that? We're not for sure, Ms. Byers. We're not for sure. Actually, what's going on right now, as far as the officers, we don't know. But the mother, as of January 2021, she did file for a lawsuit against the county. And so far, her attorney was on Roland Martin's show last week. And all he said was they're filing for false imprisonment.
But you have to remember, at first the mother was she was agreeing with them, and then she switched as of this year. Because remember, this happened last year. Go ahead and roll the clip so they can see what we're talking about.
Okay.
Please.
How old are you? How old are you? 5. You feel like you can make your own decisions? Huh? You feel like you can do what you want? Are you an adult? Are you 18? So why are you outside of school? Look at me. Why are you out of school? Why do you have people following you? Huh? I don't care if you don't want to go to school. You do not have that choice. You understand? Oh, my life if I tried to do some stuff like that. I would have been beat 9 times before I got home. Don't nobody want to hear that. Ain't nobody even listening. You know why? Because you don't get to do what you want to do. This ain't your world.
What I'm going to do is we're going to have you.
Know what? Sit down.
2008 Cadillac.
Sit down. Shut that noise up. Shut that noise up now. Your mama let me beat you. I'm going to wait out. You better stop trying to get off the seat. Stop it. Stop it. Holiday, can you watch them real quick? Hold on 1 second.
Okay, that clip didn't show everything, Auntie. It didn't show everything. But ladies and gentlemen, you can go and just type in 5-year-old boy in Montgomery County, Maryland, allegedly handcuffed. And
They handcuffed it.
Mm-hmm. And you can see all of the videos. It's real. And once you go in and you see that, you're going to be shocked and stunned at that black female officer. She did more damaging to that child than any of them did. And notice when he was walking in there with the white lady,
he was crying. He wasn't crying or nothing. Yep. Wasn't pulling back. Wasn't. Yeah. And like I stated, none of them never asked, did someone hurt you? Are you hurt? Tell us what's wrong so we can help you. No, none of them. None of them.
I saw a clip where a young man was talking to his children, and he was talking to them. It was a son and 2 daughters, and he was talking to them in reference to sharing. And the one daughter didn't want to share. And he asked her, he said, if you don't want to share, go to the bedroom and I'll come talk to you. So she got up and she went to the bedroom. And once he got the other 2 kids situated, he went into the bedroom. He sat down with her. He said, now, okay, what's wrong? And when he said that to her, he put his arms around her, and she wouldn't say nothing. And he said, "Did I do something wrong? Did I say something that upset you?" And she said, "No, Daddy." He said, "Well, what's wrong?" And she says, "I don't want to share." And then he explained to her why it's important for her to share. And he said, "If your brother and sister don't share with you, would you be upset?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "Would you be mad because they didn't want to give you something that they had and they want to keep it to themselves?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "So how do you think you just made them feel?" And she said, "Sad." And then he said, "Well, do you think that you can fix that problem? Or do we need to continue to talk? Or is it something that I need to do to help you fix that problem?" And she says, "No." He said, "Well, what you gonna do?" And she said, "Apologize." He said, "Do you feel you can go out there and play with them and share with them and apologize and tell them that you're sorry?" She said, "Yes, Daddy." He gave her a big old hug. He told her he loved her, and she went out there and did what she said she was gonna do. And them kids were playing.
But he sat down and he asked her what was wrong. He talked to her. Michelle, I agree with you. They would have had to shoot me because I would have had that whole school upside down like a tornado had been through it, like we were in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been bad, bad, bad.
But the sad thing, like you said, Auntie, one of the clips showed the mama there, and the mother has said to the little boy, she said, um,
She's no better.
she said she was talking about how she worked all the time and how she's getting tired of having to get off her job to come down for this, that, and the third. And she told him, "Well, you want more beatings like you get at home."
She said, and then she's saying all that to him about her working and all of that. But then she changed her mind because they hadn't released this until I don't know who was it, Child Protective Service or somebody forced them. Some who made them release
The
this?
attorney, when she went to the attorney to file the lawsuit, the attorney requested them to release that video.
But it took. But at first she was, I'm gonna beat you too. I'm working hard and I can't keep taking off. So it tells you something, a behavior problem, something. And those teachers and the officers all should be trained on how to handle a young kid with emotional problems if he had those. And with them, and I'm saying it because the mother said that she's tired of coming down to the school
Mm-hmm.
and taking off. But that is not the proper way. Not the proper way.
5 years old.
5.
5. And you got to do all this to a 5-year-old.
Yeah. 5.
That goes back to what you said earlier, Auntie, when you was talking about where's the community. The
Yep.
community knows that this woman is having a hard time with these children.
Yep.
Never did they say anything about the child's father. Never did she say, your dad's going to be upset with you. Not one time. The
Yep.
officers didn't even ask about the dad.
Uh-uh. But
And
I'll keep saying
as the male black officer, someone that little boy can identify with, because that black male officer looks like him. He never said, "Hey, as a father, as an adult, as a man talking to a little young boy, let me try to handle this differently."
like that, like what you just talked about, how that dad pulled that daughter and talked to her calm and cool, not yelling. Because I can tell you as an adult, let somebody come yelling and screaming at me. You think I'm gonna pay them any attention? It'd be like, you better get the mofo away from me before I end up hitting you in your throat. So a kid ain't gonna be paying no attention to nobody screaming and yelling, especially if you're doing it all the time.
And see, Auntie, so many children go through the buddy buddy, big brother, big sister program. Why come that male officer didn't act like the big brother at that point in time?
And that's part of his training. You bring yourself down. I'm telling you, that's police training. You're supposed to do that. But
Let me ask
LB,
Auntie, to cut you off for a moment, have you spoken to anyone, any of the gentlemen in your area in reference to this situation since it's in Maryland?
I haven't, but I will tomorrow. We've talked about other things when young youth come in and how they, have talked to them about being on the streets just because peer pressure. I talked to one of my guys about through 2 weeks ago, probably about for a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does to try to help those young guys on the street. Because you have to try to guide them if they don't have that guidance at home. Still let them know. And I said to him, I'm so proud of you that you're doing that, because all they want is love and to know that somebody care about them. Now, with this young boy, you don't know what this is doing to him that's going to dictate how his life is going to be in the future, because he's starting a trail already with the police. They're going to they've labeled him already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Auntie, we did a story a couple of weeks ago in reference to a 91-year-old officer who's going to retire soon.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would reconsider and
Oh,
maybe relocate to Maryland and help out the brothers and sisters on
yeah.
the force there, because they have no clue. There's nowhere in the world this young man right here, and I said young man, this young man right here could be on the force that long and still doing what he do. He done seen generation after generation after generation
Yeah.
after generation and still doing that thing.
And the community loves him because the love and the support and the help that he gives back to them.
That's right.
He has time to sit and ask what's wrong.
Mhm.
What can I do to help you?
Auntie, it wouldn't be fair if I did not let everyone know there's an event coming to Gastonia, North Carolina. Mr. Lovey Dovey himself, Tony Terry, is coming to North Carolina. For you ladies and gentlemen who loved his music back in the days, he will be coming. He will be coming. There's the information there. May the 22nd. A night with Tony Terry. Tickets are on sale right now with Eventbrite. You can go there and get your tickets, get your tickets, get your tickets, get them, get them, get them, get them, get them, get them. And for those who are trying to memory thumb what Mr. Tony Terry looked like, kind of looked like me, but I shaved. He didn't. Even with the cut and everything. Yeah. He got me a little bit on the cut, just a little bit. All that pretty hair on his head. Boy, give me that hair. Mr. Tony Terry coming to Gastonia, North Carolina, May the 22nd. Tickets are at Eventbrite. I think the show starts at 8:00 p.m. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets. It don't say how much the tickets are, but if you go to Eventbrite, you will find how much those tickets actually are. Also, they got the comedian out of Charlotte, Burpee. Burpee's awesome. I've seen him perform. He's a good guy. And this group, Sonora, Auntie, the Swagger Band, they from actually DC. They from DC.
Yeah, I heard.
They're going to be performing music throughout the night and everything for everyone. So you got 3-4 things going on, along with a DJ called DJ Mo Easy. Be easy, Mo Easy. That night. Tony Terry, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Do your thing, Mr. Terry. Yes, madam.
I have a request. I know I sent you a video. We're always showing people, we're always seeing negative stuff and things that young Black kids or young men and people are doing, like stealing from the stores and doing all that. I sent you a positive video. I feel that, and I want us to start showing or leaving the show with something positive that's happening in the Black community, in the Black area, or with our Black youth. That touched my heart, because I was kind of scared to watch it, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh my goodness, because we're always thinking the negative about, when we see 2 or more kids together, they're up to no good. And I can tell you myself, because you don't know. So I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. And that's why I sent it to you. I'm like, this is cool. This is good. This is a good thing. You can see a single dad doing something with his daughter. It's just, it made my heart warm. It made my heart warm. Made my heart warm.
I just muted my mic. If you can carry on for another minute or so, Auntie, I'm gonna try to upload this bad boy if I can.
Yeah, it made my heart warm just to see, because we have to let them know, especially Black young males who are single dads and who are trying and struggling, that you're doing a good job. just even you don't have to have a present or anything for your kids all the time. Just spending time with them. That's you don't know what that does for a kid. A lot of kids say, "I just want to see you, just to be with you." Um, that's more important than anything. And I've seen videos where young men are helping elderly ladies cross the street or with the groceries. We don't see that enough. All we see is the bad stuff that's going on and that's happening. We need to let folks know these black young men and women, they're we're rock stars. They're doing great things, but you don't post that and put that on the news. It's only the negative stuff. It's only the negative stuff. And only those good things are going around on Facebook and stuff, where we're praising them. But it's time to let the world know. These young kids are raised by good mom and dads, maybe a single family home, and we need to let people know. We need to let people know that they're doing a good job. Yeah, we need to let them know. I know Michelle wrote that a layer of hurt for that young baby on so many levels, and that's what I said. They're labeling him already, and we need to stop. We don't want that to follow him for the rest of his life, where he's going to be on a kid in the street and running wild and not having any guidance. We need to stop that and help him now, and he could be helped now. He could be helped now instead of the yelling and screaming. Yeah, he could be helped now. But I'm going to go in and see if I could find something, Michelle and everybody else watching, to see what happened with those cops since this is in this area. Yeah, I'm going to go and see if I can find it. LB, did you find anything yet? Okay. Okay. I know, as he stated about the show coming up, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna be brave enough and come down. I'm still a big chicken with the COVID stuff going on, even though I'll have my second shot by then. I'll go in on the 16th to get my second shot.
Well, you beat me to the race, Auntie.
Oh, I had no choice. Believe me, I didn't want to do it, but my chief kept coming to me. Oh, you ready to get your shot? And I'm like,
I was in a
okay.
Walmart yesterday, and I saw where Walmart's now giving out shots. I may be late, but that was my first time noticing that Walmart's giving a shout out.
Oh, Walmart, CVS, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right, Auntie. We covered everything for tonight, and we're glad that everyone who came in and left comments and
Thank you,
showed their
guys.
concern in reference to DMX. What I'd like to do, Auntie, is do a combo. Go back to DMX's prayer just for the family and for him himself. Let his prayer to us from us back to him, and we hope Brother DMX recovers from this.
One more thing that happened here Friday. Just want to send a prayer out to the officer that worked at the Capitol who was killed by the person who went through the barricades. There were two officers that were injured. One died. Just to send a prayer and condolences out to that one officer. I have a lot of friends that work at the Capitol, and they said that he was such an amazing man, just a nice man. And I could tell that just from the smile on his face. That he was a good guy, a good guy. Uh, and also out to the victim's family. We don't know what he was going through. They had said that, his life had just been messed up, and it's just sad that he had to take somebody else's life, including his own. So, we just have to pray for this nation. This nation, we need healing. We have to pray for this nation. I just
And
wanted to.
everyone, we're not going to tell you about this second clip that Auntie was in reference to. We wanted to really just be a surprise to you because when I saw it myself, I was like, where is this going? But as it
Mm-hmm.
went on and on, I was like, wow, I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I saw it to the end. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I employ each and every one of you guys. Please watch the first clip we're going to play is going to be DMX's prayer. The second clip is the one Auntie was talking about in reference to leaving with on a good note. So we're going to say goodbye to you guys, but please watch that second clip all the way to the end. But they're saying, we
And
love you.
and always give people a chance because you don't know what the outcome's going to be. And this second clip is going to tell you, wow, I thought something completely different. I thought
Mhm.
the opposite. All right, guys, we love you. Love us back.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
Father God, I am just learning how to pray. Bear with me. First, I thank you for the life of everyone that's here with me. Then I thank you for the love you give me. Why? I don't know. I don't deserve it, and it hurts inside. Many a nights I cried and called your name out loud, but didn't call you when I was doing good, too proud. And still you gave me love. I wasn't used to that. Most of the people that gave me love ended up taking it back. That's something new to me. So I'm asking you for time to adjust. Let me make it there. I will be one you can trust. What I stand for, I put my life on. I do. I guess what I'm asking is, show me how to stand for you. And I will rap for you, sing for you, reach for you, preach for you, teach for you. I will love you like you love me, unconditionally. And I will always be prepared for whatever the mission will be. Give the nutrition to me, and I'll properly digest it. And when I give it back, I will show you word well invested. And whenever I go, before I go, let me give. Thanks to you, Lord, for my birth, for every day that I've lived. You gave me a love most of my life I didn't know was there. I give you my life because you cared. Amen.
Amen. Now you write your own prayers. You're very prolific. You're very prolific. So
if you think you know what happens next. Ask yourself why. These are the black stories we've been shown. A narrow view that limits our understanding. But there's so much more to see. The full picture of black life. Let's widen the screen so we can widen our view.